I'm training to run a sub 48 second 400, and in this series, I document all of my workouts and bring you guys along on the journey so you can see exactly how I progress over time, modify my workouts throughout the year, and hopefully break 48 seconds in the 400. In this episode, I do a bunch of speed and acceleration work, form work, and a little bit of lactate training. I mentioned this a little bit in the last episode, but my training has been all over the place. I've been, for the most part, back on the track all of September, but this footage is from August, and I was pretty inconsistent at that point. I missed quite a few workouts and took a lot of days off. This is partly because of calf and Achilles pain, which you'll see me working on quite a bit in this episode, because like some of you mentioned, I knew I needed to get on top of that as soon as possible. It's also partly from being busy and having a lot of stuff going on, but it was also an issue of motivation. It is really hard to keep going when you're by yourself with no team and no coach. Luckily, I'm back on my game now and fully dedicated, but you'll notice these days jump around quite a bit. On this first day, I was just working on form drills and acceleration work because they are both pretty safe when compared to full speed sprinting because your limbs move at much lower speeds. I wanted to get myself reacclimated to moving quickly and explosively, and surprisingly, I felt really good. I didn't time anything because I didn't think it was worth adding the external pressure of performing well, but from how it felt, I think it was one of my faster acceleration days. I followed that up with some extreme isometrics. These have some muscular endurance benefits and do some things like develop the capillaries in your muscles, but I mainly do them to stimulate my tendons to adapt because long time under tension exercises are great at targeting tendons. That's why if you have something like Achilles or patellar tendonitis, both of which I've struggled with for many years, isometric holds are one of the best ways to fix it. In this case, I sort of think of it as months of prehab before going into the more intense and specific forms of strength training later on. I'm also doing them specifically for my Achilles tendons because of the pain and soreness I've been experiencing. If I had to give a name to it, I'd say it's probably just mild tendonitis at this point, but it is currently on the mend. I also did some extensive plyometrics, which are another great way to stimulate tendon adaptation, and I came back the next day with a bike ride. I'm really happy with today's workout. Didn't have any pain or discomfort other than the kind you're supposed to feel while you're working out. Cross training like this can improve recovery and of course increase your aerobic fitness, so I am a big fan. 3 days later, I was back for some speed work. This was honestly a pretty embarrassing session. My times were awful, but this was a necessary step in the process to getting back into consistent and healthy training. I followed that with more isos and extensive plyos, and came back another 3 days later for more acceleration work. It's Tuesday, August 20th. About to run a 200s workout. As you guys know, I've taken some time off. So instead of doing them at burning pace, I'm gonna take them a little easier today and try to do a little more of them. So I'm gonna try to do 5 with 2 minutes rest, but not going crazy fast. Like I mentioned, this wasn't very 400 meter specific at all. I was just trying to build my fitness back up a bit. The first rep felt pretty easy, as you'd imagine. By the second rep, it already started getting a little bit hard to breathe, but my legs were still totally fine since I was basically jogging. On the third rep, I finally started feeling it in my legs a bit, but that was nothing compared to how much I was gasping for air, and that trend continued into the last couple of reps. Rep 5 was around 29 low. I missed the button, so I don't know exactly what it was, but somewhere either high 28s or low 29s. Session felt pretty good. My breathing's all out of whack, which has been an issue for a long time. I think my cardio is just not up to par. Other than that, it was pretty good. Legs felt pretty decent. I'm glad that I got faster as I went, not slower. Overall, good day. After even more isos, I was done and came back the next day for form work and max speed. I started out pretty slowly, but it was on purpose this time to make sure my body could handle the speed work. I started ramping it up and everything seemed good. On my third rep, I ran a time I was really happy with. Not sure where it came from, but I cannot complain, and then I promptly blew up and ran a super slow last rep. The training will be better, more focused, and more consistent from here on out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.